Welcome to Sincerely Bhakti, a project where I explore scripture with my intellect and my heart. So today I'm reading from the Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 1, verse 46, and our topic for today is the yoga of despair. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sañjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows, and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. The Sanskrit title for the first chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā is Arjuna Vishad Yoga. So Vishad means despair, and yoga means the process of connection. So Arjuna Vishad Yoga means that actually this process of despair is a way to actually connect with the divine. Despair is divine. What a fascinating concept. You know, we hear about Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, and maybe Jnana Yoga, but we've definitely all heard of the word yoga. And like yoga studios, and the word yoga is just everywhere. I think I saw a laptop called yoga. It's like a flexible laptop. So it's become such a modern term, but at the core, yoga means a process of reconnecting with the divine. And so we can look at this phrase, Vishad Yoga, despair yoga, and that realizing despair is a way and a path. And who is the teacher of this path? The guru. This is Arjuna. In this first chapter, this is the subject matter, that we are coming to this place where Arjuna is in so much despair that he literally collapses on his chariot. And Prabhupada says in his commentary that he had stood up on his chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again. And what's interesting is that later on in a few verses, Krishna, his friend and the Lord, kind of chastises him. You know, he said, basically, Prabhupada comments that Lord Kṛṣṇa did not approve of so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman. But in this commentary of this verse, though, before we get into this realization that, hey, Arjuna, you need to fight this battle, you need to do your duty, you know, that's where the Bhagavad-gītā goes. Srila Prabhupada writes this commentary, such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So this collapsing under the weight of despair on the battlefield is actually a sign of being soft-hearted. And there is nothing to condemn about Arjuna's despair. In fact, we all need to follow Arjuna's example. We need to understand and experience the pain and the suffering in this life and be willing, instead of standing up, be willing to collapse and fall to the floor, fall to our knees, and seek help. And we need a soft heart. As Prabhupada says here, kind and soft-hearted. He is considering the other side. He is thinking about his family members. His compassion is just softening his heart and making him collapse. So this is also a lesson for all of us on this path of yoga. If we are to follow this yoga of despair, we can look at Arjuna's example to actually just fall to our knees and allow the pain and the suffering to enter our hearts. And in that soft-hearted place, actually approach God. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Hare Krishna.